These are my 3 audience members. Bold, respected, and influential. These are 3 characteristics any leader should possess. In the case of a president of the United States, they must also be steadfast, tough-minded, and be able to handle any issue they encounter. Many presidents possess the passion to lead, but often struggle with the adoration and love of the people. However, I believe one president didn't care about any of that. I believe he just wanted to care for and get to know his American citizens. Hello, my name is Ross Cameron, and I believe George W. Bush has been one of the most influential leaders of my generation. George W. Bush was born July 6 in 1946 in New Haven, Connecticut, to George W. Bush, who served as president in the 80s with Reagan, and his mother, Barbara Bush. He was the oldest of 6 children, and in 1948 his family moved to Texas, in which he has spent most of his time in since. Now, George W. Bush was a great student in school and followed in his father's footsteps and attended Yale University. After receiving his undergraduate at Yale, he decided to join the Texas Air National Guard, and after serving his time there, went back and got his master's in business administration from Harvard. George Bush quickly began in the oil and gas industry and became a big name in the oil and gas. Soon after, he bought the Rangers with a group of guys in 1989 and made some key trades in which the Rangers have had some of the best seasons since. In 1998, George Bush ran for governor of Texas and succeeded in becoming governor. In 2001, George Bush ran for the presidency and won the presidency and served 2 terms from 2001 to 2009. By far the largest incident of George Bush's presidency happened on September 11th of 2001, in which was a terrorist attack involving 3 airplanes, 2 of which crashed into the 2 Twin Towers in New York City and 1 into Washington, D.C.'s Pentagon. Now, if you ask anyone where they were on this day, or at even the very minute, they can tell you exactly what they were doing, who they were with, and what the setting was. Also, most leaders during this time period, I believe, would have crumbled or just ran away from all the pressure. However, George Bush did not hide in Washington, D.C. He decided to come to New York City and face the issue directly. George Bush actually came to Ground Zero and gave a speech to local firemen and policemen who were at Ground Zero, telling them that the United States would not allow terrorism to give them fear. This helped George Bush receive a 95% approval rating for October of 2001, the highest approval rating of any modern president. A few months later, in the spring of 2002, the Yankees asked him to throw an opening pitch in the World Series. Now, many of his advisors had told him not to do this because they believed it could even be a bigger terrorist attack to happen, but he disagreed with them. So on that day, George Bush walked out to the mound, threw a strike, and watched the game, as any American citizen would, and showed the American people that he was not afraid. Now, George Bush has been renowned to visit troops overseas, and during the Iraq War, he did just that. He claimed saluting them as their commander-in-chief was the greatest honor of his presidency. After his presidency, he decided to paint portraits of wounded warriors and veterans that had served under him during his time as president, in which the project was called Portraits of Courage. A New York Times article states, "Portraits of Courage is something more than a thank you. It testifies our bipartisan determination to do it better this time." I am honored to have had George Bush serve as the earliest president I can remember in my lifetime. I have always admired that he was always true to himself and his values and didn't care what people thought of him. I also believe few people could have served just as he did with confidence and respect of such a terrorist attack to his nation. And although George Bush was not a perfect president, I believe he's been one of the most influential leaders of the 21st century. Thank you very much.